Hi, I'm Denise Gustavson, editor for Wide Format Imaging magazine. This afternoon I'm talking with Duncan MacOwan, head of events and new media with FESPA. Welcome.
Thanks.
Now, your show is coming up in Hamburg in May, at the end of May, I believe?
Absolutely. FESPA Digital, May 24th to 27th in Hamburg. We're really excited about it.
Great.
It's been sold out for pretty much 3 months now. We have a huge waiting list of people who want to get on the show floor. We just literally don't have the space left.
A waiting list is not a bad thing.
It's a nice position to be
Yes.
in. And on the pre-reg side, we're 35% ahead of the last digital show that
Great.
we did in 2009.
That was in Amsterdam, right?
That's right, yeah. Tracking week for week, so that's great. And a great sign for the industry as well. It shows we're buoyant, and everyone was talking last year about bounce back, and now here we are, we're bouncing high, so
Always
great
good
to
to
see.
hear.
Absolutely.
So, moving ahead a little bit to some of our questions that we have this afternoon. So, looking at the industry in general, how's business been? You've mentioned you've seen some of bounce back.
Absolutely.
So we've seen some positive growth. Can you elaborate on that anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're seeing all around the world whenever we talk to print service providers and actually all parts of the print value chain is a real resurgence and some of those new applications that were new. People are expanding, they're diversifying their businesses, offering new services and products and value add to their customers from a PSP's perspective in terms of the solutions and how they offer them. And that's really nice to see, and that's supported by the technology. New launches a lot this year, and great to see those. Excited to see some of those at Hamburg as well, but also all around the world at other shows. So.
That's great. Now, looking at the industry, what would you say is the biggest challenge that the industry is facing right now?
Okay, in terms of the wide format industry, for me and for FESPA, talking to our members, I think there's still a challenge around price and moving past that price conversation. I know it's an old challenge, but it still remains. And just getting into that conversation, building that relationship with customers, and really getting them to understand that you can add value to their business. You're not just putting ink on paper.
Yeah.
You're a true solutions provider. And I think also sustainability is still there. It never went away. And actually, there are ways for us to be. You never hit the bar where you're sustainable, and I know we might talk a little bit more about it later, but it's a gradual process, and everyone can take a few steps along that route in business and personal life.
Yes.
And I think that's a challenge for people to understand that, to be aware of it, and also to be aware of some of the drivers that are pushing that sustainability movement forwards. And by that I'm kind of talking about the end users, the customers, and the consumers that they're marketing to with our community's products, if you like.
And since we're talking about sustainability, I'll jump ahead to those questions now.
Yeah.
Now, it's been a trend. It's been talked about in the industry quite a bit over the last few years, but it's still been a challenge for a lot of people. What would you say is some of the biggest challenges that are affecting the people that are looking to be more sustainable, maybe to bring in more sustainable processes? What would you say are some of the bigger challenges that they're facing?
Okay, well, I think, as I said, understanding that sustainability really needs to be a holistic approach.
Okay.
It's not just about technology, it's not just about energy, it's not just about recycling, it's not just about substrates or inks or the hardware that you're using, the output devices. It's about all of that and more.
Yes.
And I think that holistic approach, trying to take a cradle to grave or a closed loop look at your business and the products that you produce is really important. I think it's often a misconception, various reasons for those misconceptions, and I think that's something that is probably the biggest challenge, just understanding how to approach it. And it's a big, scary subject.
It is.
For anyone, and I think the key thing is to recognise that none of us are experts in sustainability. No one has all the answers, but we can all learn a little bit more, do a little bit more, and start taking some approaches. And certainly we work quite closely with our members through our national associations around the world. We have a planet-friendly guide which distills the huge raft of European Union legislation around sustainability to a single document. It's been updated 4 times already this year, just to give you an idea of the pace of movement and change.
And the changes that are happening.
Legislation is just one of the drivers out
Yes.
there, and the guide looks at legislation, but also more than that, and kind of distills it down to make it a little bit more understandable, a little bit more approachable, and that's something we like to offer.
Great.
And we work at bringing understanding about some of the other drivers of sustainability into the community through some of our content-led events. The Planet Friendly Summit we ran in Munich last year. Within all of our summit, our leadership events, as you know, we always have a strong sustainability track. We had Nike at the Global Business Forum, for example, earlier this year in Orlando at FESPA Americas, and they are everyone. They're arguably one of the biggest brands in the world. Everyone knows them, and they have stringent requirements of all their providers, which includes printers, both on the garment and the decoration side, but also on the graphic side. And it's really important to understand, if you want to go after those big accounts, you need to understand what they're looking for. You need to be compliant. And okay, so maybe there's a lot of people out there saying, well, I'm not after the Nike account, that's not where I'm at.
Yeah.
But that, just because Nike are there today, and not just Nike, all the other big brands are there. They have publicly stated goals and ambitions and aims in that sustainability arena. Doesn't go to say that everyone else won't be moving up that level, and that filters out throughout the whole brand community and all of our customers.
Yeah.
And as customers ask for it, that's the strongest driver. So again, it's that communication, I think, is in a word, probably the biggest challenge.
And I guess for some shops also, a lot of them probably don't want to wait for their customers to start asking for those solutions.
Sure.
They want to be a little bit more proactive, to start looking
Absolutely.
into it and seeing what options are available to them.
Yeah.
Even if they're just doing little things at this time, little things are better than probably nothing at all.
Absolutely. And you do a little thing here, a little thing there, and all of a sudden you're doing quite a lot. And actually, there's a common misconception that we're not very sustainable, but we probably are already. If we look at it and think about it, read about it, understand it, come to events, talk with each other, then we'll probably find pretty much any business, they're already doing some sustainable practices, just through efficiency, for example, which has obvious other business benefits.
Yeah, but they did it not because of sustainability. They did it because it was a profit, or it was something else that was involving
absolutely,
some part of their business.
Planet Friendly can many times be profit friendly directly, immediately. It's not necessarily a slow burn. I'm not saying it's free and it's easy. There are investments for when you start to get a bit more heavily into it. But there's, as we're saying, there's quite a bit you can do straight off the bat.
Seeing what's best for your shop and where you are now, and then see where you can go from there. It's not that you have to do everything all at once either.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, turning a little bit of our attention back to some of the technology, what would you say would be some of the technology or innovation that's really helping to grow the industry? Is there anything specific that you see?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think textile is a huge area. From a global perspective, Europe has really taken to textile. It's still a growing sector there, but I think digital textile in particular, the technology is really well refined. Some of the inks and the fine tuning of the media and the substrates are really starting to make that really tick, and the speeds are there, and it's a really viable proposition now. And coming back to sustainability, textile's pretty strong on that front too. I mean, it's light for a start. So you're talking about logistics costs there.
And then you're also saving on your logistics, shipping.
Yeah.
It's much lighter, and with the pricing of oil continuing to rise, that's going to impact your delivery and your shipping and whatnot. So
absolutely, and I see that as a real growth area. And there's many applications within textile, as we know, not just the straight graphic stuff. I mean, here we are sitting in the trade show here. There's a lot of textile applications on the booths here. So it's great to see.
Now, you already mentioned opportunities for growth in the textile market. What other opportunities do you see? What other areas or applications are you seeing really an opportunity for growth 12 months from now, 18 months from now?
Okay, well, I'm going to say textile again, but there are others out there. But in terms of, if you're talking about the applications, interior design. I mean, that's a huge market.
Huge market, yes.
You look at boutique hotels, they want that differentiation from their competitors. That's what everyone wants. You can go into a hotel and give them a whole new brand facelift in every room, in every aspect of every room, from pillowcases to duvets to drapes to carpeting to wallpaper to the whole shooting match, you know. And that's really strong, and that's a great market, and people are just starting to tap onto that and be aware of it. So there's huge potential for growth there. So if you're into textile already in a small way, perhaps with your graphics or just dipping your toe in that water and looking further ahead, then there's a real opportunity there to really grow that arm of your business.
And then you're looking at even some of the education. If you're doing interiors, are you talking with the interior designers as well?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because opening up them,
perhaps your normal business kind of relationships, and that designers are key, really. And coming back to sustainability also, you know, they're a key part of that print value chain. I think that looking at other opportunities out there, I mean, vehicle wrapping is something that I guess is pretty big in the States already.
Yeah, it has been, yes.
Well, I don't guess, it is.
Yes, it is.
But that's starting to really filter out into Europe, you know, and people are taking that not just commercially, but also on private vehicles. Okay, maybe there's a little bit more money on the commercial fleet market in terms of the scale and the volume, but there's a real interest in that. And you know, for people who want to add a new line to their business offering, a new string, that's a great little business to get into.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, Duncan, thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time to sit with me this afternoon.
Oh, my pleasure, Denise. Thank you for having me.
Great. Thanks again.
Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Sounds good.